Welcome to Refuel with Reverend Johnson and Reverend Rob. What's up, guys? Hey, everybody. It's so good that you all are joining us on Friday at 7 p.m. Whoa!
We're back.
We're back. It's so good to be back with you all. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Hello. It's Friday. It's good to see you, man.
It's good to see you, too. What's up, Johnson?
What's up, Robinson? How are you?
Like, come on, get online and share this with people. We got an exciting evening for ready for tonight.
Let's talk about that. Hello. How are you?
I'm so good.
It's Pastor on the screen.
Look.
I want the world to know, got to let it show.
Yo, what's up?
Hello. Who are you texting?
Willie.
Hi, Willie.
Because he always says he doesn't know when Refuel comes on. And so I'm, trying to get him engaged more.
Then he doesn't have his notifications on because I get notified every time we come on because I've subscribed to our YouTube page.
Get into it.
I get a notification.
Johnson, did you notice that there was actually a 3, 2, 1 countdown?
I did.
Am I just seeing it? Or is that your first time?
No.
You know what?
Last week.
I apologize for getting a more challenging job. I apologize for moving away. How about that?
Well, yeah. I'm glad you finally come to the realization that it's all your fault.
Happy Friday, everyone.
So here's the thing. If you would have stayed on Sunday for service, then you would have seen the 3, 2, 1. But you decided that all right, y'all, I see y'all online.
Wait, first of all, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. I hope that you all are doing well. I hope everyone had an amazing week. I am a little tired, but I am here and excited all about being here. Now, over there, I don't know what's going on, but we
so when we came online, he just had his head in the phone. He's still texting, like he ain't here, y'all. I'm gonna talk. Hi, Barbara, how you doing? Hey, Lanita, let me talk to y'all because clearly this guy has other things to do but chat with our Refuel family. So
that ain't true. It's called getting to drinking.
Oh, so you changed from the red Solo cup?
Did I have a red Solo cup? Oh, I'm sure Asher will say so. Yes, you did. Yeah, I'm sure he will.
Hi, Chris. Thanks, Chris.
What's going on, sis? How you feeling?
Oh my gosh, dude, this has been the longest, shortest week ever. Like Friday took freaking forever to get here.
And I'm running to get here. I'm like, you know what? I gotta be on time for Refuel. I got. Like it is a struggle, and I don't know why. Because normally, I leave work early, but for the last couple weeks, I just haven't been able to. I've been busy, so.
For it to be a 4-day work week, this has been the longest week ever.
Do you notice that if when there's a 4-day work week, do you get confused on Tuesday and wonder if it's Wednesday or Monday?
I'm confused every week what day it is. Like many days, I don't know what day it is. I know it's Wednesday because I have a meeting that I lead on Wednesday mornings that I use everything in my power to be prepared for. So I typically know when it's Wednesday. After that, yeah, it's all a blur.
Yeah, I actually had nothing on my calendar today, right? I was like, oh, great. I can do some personal stuff. I can do some planning for next week. The time, as soon as I walked in the office, I felt like I had a meeting. Everybody was popping in. Hey, can I talk to you? Hey, can I talk to you? I don't know me. And literally, I was supposed to leave early today and didn't. But I get it. And I too thought that, so our trash day is Wednesday. And then when Wednesday came, I woke up, I was like, I gotta get the trash out, right? And back in the city, when there's a holiday, the trash don't get collected. It's a day after, right? Well, they do that here too. So I rush for nothing. So yeah. I get it.
So Our trash day is Monday.
Oh, I guess you really didn't get your trash picked up.
Well, I mean, and I'm sorry. Recycle is Monday. Trash is Wednesday.
You
So
recycle?
I do, yeah. This is something new, everybody. I didn't used to do that. But see, I
don't
don't
recycle bin.
Yeah, I just put the boxes out there. Joy ordered enough from Amazon that all I got to do is break down the boxes. I don't have a trash. I don't have
We can't put boxes in our recycle bin.
Really? Well, they take it. So if I'm not supposed to do it, and I mix everything like boxes, plastic.
Maybe that's just us. We're not allowed to do that. So
yeah.
But I'm cool with it because I do have a recycle bin. Yeah.
Oh, nice! Congratulations, San Francisco.
Switzerland.
You ruined it. First the Hawaiians, now you. What movie is that from?
I don't know. Probably some cartoon or some show that is.
Ashton, do you know where that's from?
I doubt very. Well, know him because he probably watched the same thing you watch too. I don't know. He's only 12, so. And he said no.
It's from
okay,
the
movie. Anybody, Lanita, do you know where that comment was from?
All right, I'll give them a couple.
Probably not.
No, probably
I'm
not.
sure I guess don't know.
Do you know anybody? There's a couple folks watching. I can't tell how many people are watching today.
Yeah, I noticed that. I can't tell who's watching.
Anyway, so yeah, I had a good week, busy, but
how's the kids?
They are good. They're good. Bryce had a little tumble today. So I sent you a video. So we've gotten to the stage where there's a timeout tent, right?
Timeout tent.
Timeout tent. So okay, Ashton, you're right. You didn't. So I'm okay. Anyway, so when either of them do something, Bryce is into this throwing stage, and so he'll throw something. So we pulled all the toys out the tent. And now we put him in there. He has decided to make a game out of it, though, because he just then runs around in circles. And took a little spill. And they're your complexion, and so they had
time out. They are not my complexion. Stop that right at this very moment, Miss gotta call complexion out. You done got worse than your wife. Stop right now. They are not my complexion. Okay.
What complexion are they then?
They're not mine.
So he had a little bump on his head.
How did he throw it? How did he throw it? Was it far? Was it long? Was it how he threw it? Did he jump?
Oh, so no. He threw. I don't know what he threw. He threw the book. Like he has this thing where he picks up the books. He just throws them in the air. So he had to go in timeout. And in the timeout, he ran around a circle. And then he gets dizzy. And so he then just falls out. So I had to MacGyver the tent and put some additional padding under it because he bumped his little head.
He didn't have his helmet on?
No, so they've graduated from the helmets.
I didn't know. I didn't get that celebration invite.
Oh, we didn't. So I was surprised. I just realized that.
How did you know they graduated? Was there an age or something or a size limit of the head? I know the heads are big, so.
You know what? No, their mother just stopped putting them on there. So I celebrated that they've graduated.
Shout out to Joy.
And they're old enough to figure out how to pull the string to take them off. So
they got smart. So that's what it is.
So they are good. They are good. How's Willow and Jackson?
I just had to spank them because so I don't let them up on my second level. They're not allowed to come up the stairs because it's carpet. So they tried it up here, ran up here because I needed to. Don't dare sit there with that big head.
Joy's on.
Oh, she's listen. Don't go get mad, Slim, because they only like what? Not even 2 yet. They'll be 2 this year, right? So yeah, wait till that dome grow. No, I just had to whip one of them, both of them, because I came upstairs to get ready for refuel, and they followed me. And as I was walking out, one of them took a poop on the carpet, so that was a big no-no. So yeah.
Oh wow.
So it wasn't my pup. Both of them are pups, but it wasn't the baby pup because the poop was too big. to be from her. So I know it was from Jackson. So he ran from me, and but then again, Willow kind of ran downstairs. So, and I didn't see her for like the next 10 minutes. So maybe it was her. I don't know. But at any rate, yeah, like they on timeout.
Are you saying Jackson got in trouble and it may have been Willow?
I punished both of them. How about that? They both sit in the cage right now.
Oh man,
yeah. John, what's going on? Just got my first vaccination. Yay! How you? Hope you feel well. Take an ibuprofen, okay, bro? Yeah. So what's going on in the world?
So speaking, we'll go right there where John was. So COVID-19, right? So I pulled some stats, and I just found Georgia. There's an echo. I'm not sure who's that from. Maybe Sean.
I don't hear an echo, but go with it.
All right. So, so I pulled some stats on vaccination. So there was this big thing. The administration wanted to have so many people vaccinated by July 4th, and they missed that. So for Alabama, Sean, you all are. This is 3.1 million doses given. 1.63 million people fully vaccinated. So that's 33.2% of your population in Alabama that have been fully vaccinated.
Vaccinated, right.
And up here in Maryland, we have 7.23 million doses given, 3.45 million people who are fully vaccinated. So that takes us to about 57% of our state that's fully vaccinated. And looks like for you, John and Lanita, I'm not sure where Barbara is from. Barbara, let us know where you're from if you're not from Maryland or Alabama. So Georgia has 8.55 million doses given of the COVID vaccine, and this is a mixture of all of them. And then 3.94 million are fully vaccinated. So the state of Georgia is about 37.1% vaccinated, fully vaccinated.
Good.
So we know there's the couple of the variants are out, and Maryland had its first case of one of the variants. Our numbers have increased a bit here in the last couple of weeks. Overall, in the United States, there's an average of 16,208 new cases. This is as of yesterday, which is a uptick about 39% in the last 14 days. So it's still out there. People are still testing positive for COVID. I think in Maryland, I didn't do this research, Sean, for you, but in Maryland, while our hospital cases are down, people are still testing positive for COVID. They're just not being, the numbers in the hospital are just not going up right now.
Yeah, we had a huge great meeting yesterday in terms of that. So there is a variant out that is, and I don't know if this is true, and I don't have any information on it, on whether CDC is actually naming it, but there's a potential that we may need a booster.
I saw Pfizer. Pfizer has already put in a petition to start those trials. So yeah.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I thought so.
They said, that's not something that they have more information on, but it's something that might be needed to consider because of this specific variant. So I'm interested in yeah. So it just goes back to large gatherings for me, like right. And so for all these places that are going back into church and things like that, or back into anything more than, for me, more than, like a lot of people, right? So they have now starting to talk about, hey, no more large gatherings on base, no more, wear a mask. If you don't know people, make sure you wear a mask. Because here's the thing, you can't ask people whether they're vaccinated or not. And so if people aren't being responsible and still know that they have symptoms and still rocking and rolling,
Yeah.
I mean, we won't be hit as hard, but there still will be a knockdown, right? And so I just talked to Chris, and I was like, hey, last night when I got the information, I said, hey, are there any cases that are coming in? And he was like, yeah, they're coming in, but it's COVID. I got COVID, and it's like, oh, okay, here you go. Here's what you need to do. So, and then you go on about your way. So it's becoming a little more manageable into treatment, I guess.
Wow, that's very interesting. We're the same way. So in my population, um, people ask, like, or they offer it, right? And so I still choose to wear a mask in the office, even though I'm fully vaccinated. But as the majority of the population, I don't know if you can hear. Can you hear
I
this?
can. I hear him all the way. Yep. Hey, get that party going.
That is Mr. Bryce. And so, but people typically ask like, hey, I'm fully vaccinated. So people come in if they don't have on a mask, which that's the mandate, right? In my organization, if you don't have a mask, if you don't wear a mask, that means you're fully vaccinated. But I still find that people offer that they are fully vaccinated, not having on a mask. But yeah. What else is going on, Sean? We talked about COVID.
Hopefully people, as we leave COVID, just be mindful of that it's still out there, and
absolutely.
Take the precautions. And if you got people who are sensitive to it, please be flexible, be understanding, have some empathy around that, because it is scary, and some people still are. I'm sorry.
Speaking of COVID,
right? I was going to say, right. Speaking of COVID, so the Olympics is being impacted by COVID, and obviously is not doing that well with vaccinations, and also there's other strings that are coming about, and so they are canceling the spectators' tickets to the Olympics due to COVID-19. So a lot of people are in an uproar. There's a lot of people who aren't attending again, and they are very strict in terms of how the athletes are going to participate, how the athletes are living, support the athletes have. So they're doing a lot of navigating. And so shout outs to Tokyo, and hopefully everyone that goes over will come back safe and with a medal. Right?
And so, medal, right. Go USA.
Right. Go USA.
So wow. I saw a lot of support for the U.S. athletes who decided to pull out of the Olympics. So we talked last week about Serena. We talked about that's the only name that I've committed to memory. But I know there are other athletes. That pulled out. Osaka, that was the other one. I was committed to remember those 2 days. I don't know if anybody else pulled out. I know they did. But yeah. So yeah, just continue. If it revolves around, just continue to be safe.
Yeah, be safe. Speaking of Osaka, she did, pull out a lot of things because of mental health, right? But here's the Netflix just announced that she's having a documentary that is sponsored or directed or produced. I'm not quite sure which one. I don't remember, by LeBron James. So it should be really interesting. I'm really interested in seeing and hearing her perspective as a young person dealing with mental health. So, going over to Tokyo, Japan is actually her who she represents. So that's her sponsor. Even though she's Haitian and I want to say Japanese, yeah. So Japan is her flag that she carries. So for her not to be in the Olympics is pretty big deal.
Oh wow! Who knew?
You didn't know that? You thought she was a USA?
I did. Well, I didn't profess to know either. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to go on that tyrant. Speaking of Haitian, good segue. We'll go into this next one. The Haitian president was assassinated.
Right. I mean, what's going on with that?
And his wife was wounded in what they're calling a well-coordinated attack at their home. And so, just there, I have intentionally not kind of looked at the news story. Joy gave me very detailed highlights of kind of what that country has been going through. But, you know, just sending much love and energy to the Haitian community, to those who are in the, you know, in America, with family members still there, with roots that derive from there, that's watching their country go through this turmoil that they're going through. And I know his wife was wounded and it seemed pretty critical. I have not seen an update on her well-being though, but just praying her well, and healing from this incident.
So I think it's very important to mention, and I know we often see this on TV, but the language that is being used is, and this is by the Haitian ambassador Edmond, who said that it was carried out by well-trained professional commandos and foreign mercenaries who were masquerading as agents of the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration. So, you know, this is the language that is used that talks about fatigues, you know, and all the USA gear and everything. So, you know, again, I join Johnson in naming that, you know, it's a situation that we do, you know, obviously the people from Haiti does not, did I get that right? Yeah.
Okay. All right. What else?
No, from Haiti, who is, you know, kind of up in the uproar. I mean, think about it. Like, I mean, think about our what happened with our capital, right? That was kind of like here, but then to get your top guy to be assassinated, it's so sad, right, Lenita? Very is so sad. So again, we send them some love.
What is going on in New York? Has anybody seen this? Joy called me right before the show and was like, New York is underwater.
So I saw a photo on Instagram. You know what? There's so much on Instagram I can talk about right now, but okay, you want to talk about water? Let's talk about water. There's so I just don't understand. So I actually took a little break from social media a couple weeks ago just to stop posting things. It's just so much that you get like smacked in your face with. So I did see an article or a picture where people were trying to get out of the subway and it was just completely immersed in water. So it's due to heavy rain pours.
Yeah.
So you're getting the rain pours that I got a couple weeks ago, probably, that I was like, you know, these are some different type of rain stuff.
Yeah. It's so the last couple of days, not today, at least in my area, you know, Maryland, we have those weird kind of rainstorms. Like, it'll be pouring on the west side, but then sunshine on the east side. So we got a little rain today as I was driving home, but like the last 2 days, folks have been like, oh my gosh, like it's just been downpours, thunder, lightning. It's a disaster. It's due
to Storm Elsa.
Yeah. So you know, it's skipped. My point is, for the most part, it's skipped Maryland and gone up to New York and New Jersey. Yeah. So
how you like it in New York? How you liking all that wet stuff you getting?
Listen,
Gigi, I'm curious to know, is Jersey getting any of that type of rain? I would love to hear some of that feedback.
Cool. Let's keep it moving so we can get her on. We're almost up to time. So congratulations. And I will dare not pronounce this little girl's name because I do not want to screw it up. But the first African-American contestant, I see Sean's looking at the link right now, the contestant to win the National Spelling Bee. Congratulations to her. I believe she's from Louisiana, and she's now aiming for Harvard, the NBA, and NASA. Sean, what's going on with that?
Well, I think it's the fact that it's the first time an African-American, you know, has won Scripps National Spelling Bee. I mean, that's pretty impressive, to be honest with you. Yeah. The fact that you don't want to try to pronounce her name, I'm gonna fight you for her. So I'll do it. It's Ziala Avant-Garde. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Gardi is how you say her last name. Okay. Right? I think that's how you say it. So I am excited. This is a young girl, young female. And again, just, you know, black girls rock. Black young girls rock, right? Not the first thing. That's not the first thing. Oh, well, you should have went on and put. This is what I talk about on the side note. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
So
This is
congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So could you imagine like not having someone win that spelling bee from our community? Like that's impressive.
It is very impressive. Cool. Yep, Gigi, we're gonna bring you right on. Oh wow.
So what's the memes of the day for the week?
Here we go.
Oh Lord, I'm scared. Oh jeez, I hope this email finds you in good spirits. How the email next? I can't. That's just scary right there. I look like Chucky brother. Is that Chucky brother?
Oh God, y'all know y'all feel it. What's up next, Ashton?
There's no way you can work off just 4 hours of sleep. Again, this is okay. I don't find that funny, but okay. Sorry, Captain. I'll probably spell it on my phone.
You don't get it? You don't get it?
No, I mean I get it, but it's
what's not funny about that?
me starting the dryer. The stuff it's just didn't change. I left it in my pocket.
Listen, hold on. We're gonna stay here for a minute. So, Sean is famous for leaving money and coins in his pocket.
True.
And so this is Sean's dryer when he starts it.
Not anymore. See, there you go. Not no more.
Why? Because Chris do your laundry?
No, I do my own laundry. I do the laundry. It's just because I hate the sound. So I make sure I check my pockets now. Now, when other people do my laundry, that's a whole nother situation. It's your job to check. It's your job to check the items to see if there's any items in the pocket.
All right.
Yeah, that's not funny. Not funny. Next. That is so horrible. You ain't got no respect. You ain't got no respect. No empathy, no nothing. Just rude. That's just rude. Lenita, don't even co-sign that. Okay. Willie, do you see this hot mess? Please say something. Well, Gigi, don't you even comment yet. Wait till you come on air, okay?
Oh God, wait a minute.
Hilarious. Okay, what's next? That was it. I'm glad you found that funny. Did y'all find that funny, really?
Oh God, that was the best one. Oh my gosh. Have you ever had somebody just start crying?
And this is a preacher. This is a preacher.
you just for a minute, you just didn't know.
Listen, let's move on. I can't with you. I can't respond. Willie, go ahead and type a comment in there, bro. Type a comment. Our first gentleman's online. Shout out to Willie C. And we love you. We miss you, man. Hilarious. Like, go ahead and type a comment. Hey, listen. Listen, so some of the things that I want you all to watch this week. So I mentioned a lot of shows last week that I had not seen that I thought would be good. So I wanted to go ahead and take a time to watch what I said, encourage you to watch. So here's what I want you to think about. So Backyard Builds. It's the summertime. That's my number 5, right? It's on Hulu. If you have Hulu, check it out, right? I think you can find that on YouTube or the internet. I'm sure, or your Fire Stick. It's called Backyard Builds. And what they do is these two people go and they just take care or renovate people's backyards. Absolutely amazing show. Check it out. The number 4 is Mary J. Blige Life. That's also on Amazon Prime. Let me tell you something. I mentioned this last week, but I didn't actually watch it, and I told you all that. When I tell you that was an amazing piece there, check that documentary out. It's called Mary J. Blige, My Life. It was phenomenal. She talked about, it was really, really good. She talked about all kind of stuff. So please. And then also I talked about the Tomorrow War. That was actually really good too. Very good action-packed movie. Number 2, I'll leave with, again, and I mentioned this last week, Love, Comma Victor, and that's also on Hulu. So if you have any friends or if you had an experience of your coming out, or if you have a niece or a nephew or anybody that is struggling with that, especially specifically young people, please sit down and watch this movie. It was phenomenal. This was actually a referral from our pastor. An amazing show. Check this out, okay? Number one, I want you to watch, if you have Disney Plus. If you don't, go see it in the movie, Black Widow. Marvel is releasing Black Widow today. It released today, actually released last night. Disney have it for $29.99. Hey, listen, you probably like, I'm not paying $30 for a movie. Listen, I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to go to the movies, right? I'm not trying to go to movies. And even if you do, the movie theater tickets are like $13.99 or $15, and then you gotta buy popcorn, and you gotta buy something to drink, and then you're gonna want some candy. You done spent $50. So go ahead and check that out. I can't wait to see it. I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'll let you know how it is. Those are my 5 for tonight. Check it out. Johnson, did you see any of those?
No.
Yeah, Fire Stick it. Oh, I guess, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing, y'all. I would encourage you to Fire Stick it, but here's what I would say. You don't get the same quality. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, I get great quality. I promise you, you will not get the quality that you need to enjoy. Now, if you're not all about, I like to see people's pimples. I like to see their pores. I want to see how yellow and white their teeth is. If you don't like that, then yeah, Fire Stick it. If you already with slow motion, yeah, Fire Stick it. If you don't mind blurring or clocking, then yeah, Fire Stick it. If you don't mind knowing that the girl's hair is not red, it's really like auburn or yeah, Fire Stick it. If you can't tell exactly who they are, yeah, Fire Stick it. I'm okay with that.
You hear? That's a
I want to pay the $29.99. Invite a couple people over and charge them $5. How about that? Okay, I'm sure that's Asher telling us to move on. Okay.
No, I think he's saying wow because I don't know what he's saying.
Said wow.
Yes, Sean, you make a lot of good points. I'm not paying for it. So,
but here's the thing: are you going to Fire Stick it, or are you going to just wait and just go ahead and watch it off my Disney account? Boom, catch that.
I'm just going to log out of mine and log into yours.
Please erase my comments. Why did I get him started? You
right.
better know. Anybody tell you to Fire Stick it? Fire Stick news. You Fire Stick some stuff that you ain't really know, but you can't be Fire Sticking no Black Widow. No, ma'am, Sam.
So yeah, I'm gonna check out. So I was, while you were giving the things to watch, that backyard build. I am. So we took the little guys outside, right? And everything that we had not finished in the backyard, Bryce decided that he wanted to go to. So now I have more backyard projects. Because
watch backyard builds. It will change it. And you have a nice backyard, Johnson. So it'll give you some ideas and things what to do and how to section it off. It's really good.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I didn't talk about this when we checked in earlier, but Joy and I celebrated 10 years of our wedding anniversary. I
actually was going to save that for last, but
okay.
Glad you went there.
So on Wednesday, we celebrated 10 years. Together.
Congratulations! Listen, 10 years in lesbian time is amazing. That's dope.
Yes.
Like, the fact that y'all met in 4 months and then got married. Yeah, I mean.
Listen, everybody, we did not meet in 4 months and get married.
You want to hear the story? You talk to me. I was there. Joy, you better not. That's right. Joy said we are paying for Black Widow. She said hands down. Congratulations, Joy, on your 10th anniversary. Yes. I'm so glad that you're a part of our family. You have been amazing. I love you, and I cannot wait to see what 10 more years look like for you all.
Yes.
Are you guys gonna have more kids? Did I say something wrong? Did you say? Why did you look at me like that?
Really, Sean? Really?
Wait.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Joey just went in there, yes.
Right. Where has he been for the conversations? Anyway,
clearly not listening. I didn't know, right? More chilling.
All right. Okay, she said I'm not okay. We have a guest tonight. She is knocking on the screen.
No, John, that means a yes. That means Joy wants it, and Carla was like, I don't know.
So tonight we decided. So we talked last week about the whole Bill Cosby, Felicia Rashad Our sister Gigi, fellow game changer, was very boldly went online and shared about some of her, some of the things that she has overcome and turning a year older. I believe she turned 50. Turning 50 was that moment for her that she refused to be bound by the things of her past. And she went live and she was very raw, very vulnerable, very authentic. And so we thought it was great. She was in the chat last week. We thought it would be great if she would come on tonight and chat it up with the Revs. And so without further ado, let's bring on Gigi.
Let's bring on Gigi.
Hello. Okay, before we get started, I'm going to need Ashton to put that last meme back up.
That will be a no.
No, I have a story behind that.
Okay.
What's the story, Gigi?
Now, my daughter's probably going to kill me, but so some of y'all don't know she is pregnant, right?
Yeah.
So our emotions are all over the place.
You are so rude.
I love you, Jesse, but I can't.
Is that what you mean?
She's like, Mommy, I don't know. It was something. It was raining. It was something. And I just looked at her like, you want something to eat? So that was so on time. I'm telling you, that was so.
Listen, Gigi, you see, you've been there. You don't quite know what to do. I'll tell you all this.
You sit there and you look at them.
So what Pastor Washington?
Oh gosh,
was. So he taught me this message. You don't want to just hand people tissue, right? Because that gives the notion that you're wanting them to suppress their tears, right? And so, like, once he said that, I'm like, what the hell do I do?
You comfort them. You say, you make it. You give affirmations. I get it. Get it out. Absolutely, you're right. It's a great space to be in.
Yeah. So my struggle is I understand empathy and I give empathy and I lean with empathy, but it's one of those things where what annoys me is people trying to overstand what I did, right? So, I know where you've been. I know how you've been. I know blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to hear that right now, right? And so that's why that meme was so funny to me, because I'm always like, because I got my own stuff going on. Like,
you want them to just ask you for what? You want some water?
You want some water? Okay. Hey,
I'm sorry. Love you guys.
What up, Loretta?
What's up, Gigi?
Hey, family. How are you?
First of all, before we get started, can we just talk about you in Mexico for 100 days, like 45, 90? I mean, what was it?
As long as you keep saying, it was like a little over 2 weeks. We were there. We went from city to city to just observe the natives, the area, to see the difference. And I'm actually glad we did it that way, because I don't know if people know this when they go to Mexico, but between April and November is their seaweed season. So if you go there to Cancun or Tulum during that time period and you want to get in the water, don't look to get into the water unless you take a boat out past the reefs and then you can go out in there. But if you go to Playa, you can go over to the ferry and get into the Cozumel waters. But Merida is on the different coast, so their oceans are clear. So I'm glad we did it that way, because at least I got to be able to get in some of the water.
Yeah, some of the resorts spend time every morning going out to clean up in that time frame. So
yeah, they literally had dumpsters that couldn't keep up with it. Yeah, no.
Wow.
It was that bad.
And the weather hasn't been that great.
Exactly.
I mean, for some reason, the season is just just bringing up so much stuff. So
right, they said this was the worst they've ever seen it ever.
Oh, wow.
So,
do you speak Spanish, Gigi?
No, Jaji does.
She should. She's been over there for 6 months.
Whatever.
Okay, so Jaji does. Okay.
Yeah, Jaji does.
Cool. So welcome to Refuel.
Is this your first time on Refuel?
No.
Okay.
Right.
No, sir.
What is Joy saying? Oh, she's
Merida is the spot, she says.
Oh, okay.
Hi. Hi, sister. I miss you. We got to have our long conversation again. I miss you.
Listen, they get on the phone, Sean, and just go. They just
I can only imagine Joy could talk like she could talk through getting gas, getting food, changing the pamper, putting the baby to sleep, and she's still on the phone.
Yeah, she was feeding them, taking care of them. So yeah, she was hustling.
And
That's
Gigi
what mama
could
do,
talk
honey.
too. Gigi could be on the phone for a long time too.
Whatever.
So,
Let's talk about last week.
You had some stuff to get off your chest, sister.
Yes, I did.
So talk to us a little bit about that. How are you feeling now that it's out there? So I guess give our viewers, so some of them haven't seen your live, but
Right. Give a quick synopsis.
So I'm gonna tell you this. After I had my surgery in September, like I told a couple people, something shifted in me. So it was just during the pandemic, but I seemed like I woke up a different person. You know, I had something happen. They said maybe a mild stroke. My eye was affected, my throat. So I'm in speech therapy and going to our eye doctor, you know, like once every 6 months for her to see if it's healing itself. And I'm different. And I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know if it was that or somebody else said, well, maybe it's because you're older, but I know that I'm very short. I don't have time for nonsense. And I definitely have a very, let me see. Well, I don't have the same mouth I used to have, which has really shocked my kids more than anybody else. So, I don't know. I just decided within me this time of my life turning 50 that I don't have time for no more nonsense. And this thing has been sitting on my neck, on my back, like carrying it like this for 36 years. Oh, wow. You know, and I, like I said in my live, my family, I think, so let me explain. I was molested at 14 and by then a family friend, you know, dating my aunt. And it really impacted a lot of who I am. I always question things now. Like one of the things that I think that came up for me is that I feel like I don't finish things. Like I know how smart I am. I know how intelligent, how talented, creative, but I noticed that I don't finish things. And I wonder, and it finally, God gave it to me. It was like, this thing is like, it keeps pulling me back. So every time I move forward in something, I'm pulled back. And I knew that it was because I hadn't spoken my truth in what happened. Finally getting out what he did to me, as well as what my family did to me. Most of all, what they did to me. As a child, it is their responsibility to protect me. You know, parents have one job. Children are innocent. Children cannot fend for themselves, do for themselves from the time they're babies up until they get 18. And even then, your children are still going to be coming to you for something, right? But as a teenager, 14, just learning who I was, for this man to come into our family and violate me the way he did, and then my family side with this man, you know, was something that I think is so messed up in my head. It just doesn't compute. It's like there's a button in my head that just keeps skipping there. You know, like for me, it's simple. Yeah. My child's hurt. I do what I do to back her. My sons, my granddaughter, whoever. It doesn't make sense to me how a whole family of people would turn their back on the oldest firstborn grandchild for freaking 14 years before 11 years before another one came along, and then act like I was just discarding me to the side. But having that conversation out loud on Facebook finally gave me something. It gave me my voice back. I lost that. Yeah. You know, that picture of the child that you see like this, that was me. You know, and I finally feel like the veil is coming off of my mouth and I can finally say what I need to say. Yeah. And in my live, I said that I see Gigi. Gigi, that little 14-year-old sitting, she was sitting there in front of me. I could see her plainly with her legs crossed, looking up at me while I was live speaking. And I was letting her know, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I am here for you now. There is someone holding your hand when no one was holding mine at that time.
Yeah, I went and listened to you live after our refuel last week, right? And so, I want to just commend you for your courage, for sharing that, and I'm so glad that this is like your healing, a part of the healing process, for you. We have a couple questions for you. You talked about that. Your family. It sounds like your family violated you too, right? It was and I feel. Have you had any healing with the family in any way? And if you care to share, what did that look like?
No, I have not. Through the years, after it happened, after it all came out from my school, because I broke down at school that day, I just couldn't, because he did other things after the bigger event. It was little things after that. And I just couldn't take it, and I broke down in school, and that's when it finally came out. And all they did was, like you said, violated me again. They literally brought me to my great-grandmother's house, and every single one of them stood there while I'm there by myself, because that's how I felt, with nobody to support me while they believed this man and said I made it up. So it hasn't been. I've been invited to family reunions. No, I'm not going. Invited to their house. No, I'm not going. Just the craziest stuff. My mother is, to me, the worst one of them all, because there's been so many things through the years. And one of the things that really affected me was when she took my daughter from her godmother's house and brought her to that house after I specifically told her she could not go, and not understanding, why would you think I would let you take my child to that house where that man is? And in her mind, well, I'm here. Really? That's my child, not yours. Right. And you're not going to do that. I had to call my best friend that lived out there and said, go get my child. She went, told him, bring her to me. And she said, if you don't, I'll call the police. So they hemmed and screamed and hollered, but they gave her over to her. Yeah. And it's been more and more incidents of that through the years. And to now it's actually translated over to my granddaughter, and I had to put my foot down there too. So it's just, the disregard is still real. It hasn't changed.
Do you find yourself, why do you stay connected to your family?
I don't. I think the only one I was still trying to build a relationship was my mother.
Okay. And
up until this year, that little girl, she never raised me. So that craving of that mother love, even though my great grandmother raised me for a while, and then the aunt whose man raised me for a while, that desire, it's embedded in us, right? To have that connection with our parents. I kept trying. I kept on trying. She's made me shed so many tears, but yet she sits in this, every time I bring up stuff so that we can talk about it and move past, it's, why are you doing this to me? I'm like, what are you talking about? This is my story. This is how this affected me. And so I finally decided this year, after this last incident, that I just cannot deal with her disregard, disrespect. It just makes no sense. And now she's just, try to go around and want to deal with my kids and try to say things and get back at me. But, I can't. And I, at this point, like I said, at 50, I would just think about the things I'm saying in my head right now. Right?
Wow. Okay. That's fair.
So what would it look like for you to kind of resolve that? Like, so I hear the trauma. I hear, it sound, and I'm so excited to see that you are moving forward. Do you think that the little girl will not still want to reconnect with your family or your mom?
With my mother? No. That's a whole show.
Yeah.
So we won't even go there.
Because we come from a culture where what you're saying happens a lot. You know, in our culture, and I'm not naming this, doesn't happen in other cultures. That's not what I'm naming. But for African Americans who have experienced this, I've heard this story over and over to so many women and boys and men. And so, yeah,
I believe that we are taught to you know, I have to say for my family, it's all about status, you know, the way they've always lived, you know, I would say Huxtable-ish type life all my life. And so that for them that's how they need to continue to portray themselves, right? Yeah. But I think as a culture, as you stated, is that we sit in lies. We just do. We just cover everything up. And I, you know, when we had honesty, you know, I talked about, you saw me do my thing, was about put everything under the carpet, the pink elephant, everything. That's what we, for some reason, think is how we are supposed to live our lives. Yeah. And we continue that generationally through our lifestyle, just keeping our kids in this fallacy of this is how the family's supposed to look, you know, and this is what we do. And we shouldn't speak anything outside of the family doors and all of this stuff. And if we don't stop doing that, our children will continue this cycle and we will never get to a better place.
Yeah. And Lanita, you're absolutely right. We have to begin to shake the rug. That's where the healing starts. And we talk, so in church and Christendom, we talk about breaking generational curses, right?
Right.
And I feel, this is the opinion of Carla, right? I feel that we are very selective when it comes to the generational curse that we want to break. Yeah. And now that social media is everybody has a platform, right? It serves us. We get more likes, we get more followers, you know, when we post this stuff, when we talk this stuff. But my overall question when I read those posts, when I see those lives, is you know how you watch a movie, you always want to see, well, what happened after the end? Like, really, did you really follow through with it? Like, what's the after that, right? And so that's why I was excited for you to be on the show, because it was great. It's great to make these declarations, but I often find myself in this space of, well, once you got it out, what's the work that's after the live ends?
Well, before the show, I had made myself a list of things I wanted to do to make myself accountable to the decision that I made.
Okay, that's fair.
And I called the middle school to find out if they still had the report from when everything was came out that day. They said that everything gets destroyed after 7 years. And then I called the police station because they also made a report. I left a message because the sergeant who's over that area wasn't in. And she actually called me back 2 days ago. And she asked me all these questions and wanted to know, you know, the names of everyone. I was thinking she was doing that because she wanted to try to find the file because it's been 36 years, right? And then at the end of it, she says, I want you to know that, you know, there is no statute of limitations on this. And I want to know if you want to move forward.
That was, so I'm so glad you went there because yes. I was going to, like, that's what I was going to ask. Like, for these instances, there is no statute of limitation, which is, you know, I've had instances where therapists have led with that, right? So as you're about to divulge any misconduct of abuse to them, they say that quickly. So like, if you name names, they have an obligation to report.
Yes.
So what is your hope?
Again, to finally stand up for myself.
Is that in terms of finishing things now? Is that in terms of accepting or managing the emotion now? Like, what does that mean for you?
I'm actually feeling, I feel like now I've actually exhaled. Like, I feel like all this time I've been holding my breath, you know? And after being able to speak to that officer and knowing what my options are to move forward, I actually feel so much lighter.
Hmm.
Like I truly feel lighter. Like I can see sunshine inside of me now that I felt like was missing. Like there was something that was still dark and blocked that I don't feel now.
Wow.
And it doesn't, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I know that this time Gigi has a voice
Yeah.
and nobody is going to stifle it this time.
Yeah. I will tell you that when I watched it, I was very happy for you, as well as sad at the same time because of the experience, right?
Mhm.
One of my friends has gone through something like that. Um, and then I said to I remember saying to myself, this is going to change people's lives
Yeah,
because people can see that, oh, this happened to her, this happened to me too. So um, knowing that you were able to name this on a platform where it will never go away, right?
right.
And people will always have access to it. My hope will be for you to always speak about it, like, or always share it, because somebody in the room would maybe be like where you were before you got to the space of being able to share. So shout outs to you, Gigi. Shout outs to
Thank
you.
you.
And I know that last week when we brought up the topic of Bill Cosby,
Mhm.
and I remember I had not seen your live at the time, and I'm so glad that you said, mention that in the comment, that kind of struck a chord with you in terms of some of my comments in terms of feeling as if or defending Felicia, not defending, but I guess I would name advocating
Right.
the abuse that she received, because she was supporting her friend who was charged and named as someone who had violated women in
Mhm.
years ago, right? And so
Right.
I know that. So tell us a little bit about that.
There's always triggers of things that happen in movies I watch, TV shows, news reels, anything. There's always a trigger, and sometimes you don't even know or expect it. You're just enjoying a movie, and then next thing you know, you're in tears and not really understanding why. So for me, that I felt like those women, and you don't know what's even more interesting was in that was Jaji came in the room and she was crying. And she was crying and she sat down and she said, I was praying and crying for every single woman whose story was just negated by what
Mm,
happened. And I looked at her and, because we all have a story, and we really don't know the depth of what that thing is until it hits home for
yeah.
somebody. Me telling my story opened up so much stuff that I found out within my family just in the last few days.
Mm,
So much more. And I'm praying that in that other people are now going to say more, stand up for themselves, stand up for those that they know have been violated. I've heard from my other aunt who has said, I'm so proud of you and thank you for doing that, and even having the conversation with her today, she called to check on me and I could hear the tears in her voice. I guess some people, this has been holding on to them because they've known how I've been feeling all this time. And maybe some of it guilt because they didn't do more or they didn't say more. So it's in that I understand Felicia Rashad's stance on her friend. I get that. That's her friend. That's who she's riding by and riding with. But what about the women? What about them? So it's what I feel is that people have to say, no, he didn't do it. No, she didn't do it. No, I didn't do it. No, he didn't do it. And I guess that's just why we have the courts and law, right? To always figure out guilty and innocent. And what people say is, well, I don't know. Let the evidence decide, and you got to go from there.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a tricky slope. I think that a lot of people. I don't know. I would say a lot of people. I would say that people might have thought, you know, the timing that came out, right? You know, we're in the midst of all this other racist kind of thing going on, and you know, we always talk about distraction, right? And the aiming specifically to, you know, they were just, women were just coming up, right? And Johnson, I think I emailed you the judge. I can't remember his name, Joe Brown, maybe it was, where he talked about, you know, that specific time, what was going on. Everybody was investigating or, you know, trying to figure things out, and sexuality was all over the place. And how that looked from a judiciary perspective. Yeah, like, and people still felt like they was violated, right? People still felt or named that they were violated. And that's the piece that I don't ever want to get misunderstood in terms of that not being a focal point or known or understood, right? Because no matter what, you know, whatever happened, if we say no, no is no, or I don't want to do that, right? And so I read a lot of articles this week through like times that I have some free time, in terms of the perspectives that people shared in terms of this, and I think they all were on the same page, right? In terms of, you know, when people are violated, we have to be mindful to lean in on that, because that is their truth,
right? And I think what's important is that makes so much sense, Rob. And Gigi talked about the triggers, right? And so nobody knows what everybody's going through, right? And so where us wanting to talk about the backlash from the university and her followers was a trigger based on the foundation of where that post came from, right? And I think there is no like you shared so beautifully, you could be watching a movie, right? Something that is complete, like the news, right? Where you didn't intend, you didn't know that it was going to trigger you, right? But that's where I feel like what makes your post so powerful is that you are talking about your truth from your lens, right? And that's what that makes me love social media, right? I get annoyed that, you know, everybody goes live for every little thing. Really, your Thanksgiving dinner, really? We all eat the same thing on fucking Thanksgiving. We all eat the same thing. But you know, it's capitalizing on the mediums that we have for stuff like that, right? Which makes it immensely, Joy says, powerful, bravery, sis, right? That so many people they're too scared to go live. They're too scared to share their story because they're concerned about people knowing what's behind the curtain.
Right.
And I've started listening again to Brene Brown's Daring Greatly, and you know, the talk about I'm on the part where she talks about shame, which sent me for a whole loop this week. And I just, as I shared with you that night when you got offline and we talked, I am just so proud with you that, you know, you have courage that, you know, I've said things, I've overcome things personally in the confines of a therapist's office. But what you did took so much strength. And I know you prepped some of your family members, right? But it took so much strength that is admirable. And if I could invite you to do anything, is to keep that same power, keep that same voice. And
you expose yourself,
right?
You expose yourself, and that makes you very vulnerable. So when when you are in that space, you're very hypersensitive,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so how did you manage that? Did you think about what would come after that? Did you think about what the people would say?
No, I didn't. I knew there would probably be. I told them that, please, no judgments, just listen, and I didn't know if I was going to get any positives or negatives, but it really didn't matter. I needed to get the story out there, and as I continue to speak, like I mentioned before, other things came up for me. So, I remember over the past times when I did something else, that one of my friends wanted me to do a seminar about sexual abuse, and getting prepared for that, remembering another incident of something that happened to me when I was younger that I totally blocked out, and then literally woke up screaming and crying because it literally must have all rushed in at once, and then remembering right in the middle of BLM when we were out marching, remembering that with all of the police stuff, remembering that I spoke, I'm like, wow, I remember when I lived in Atlanta, this police officer literally sexually harassed me, trying not to, want to get his number and come to my house, but not giving me a ticket. Just when we are going through things, sometimes, our minds, to protect us at the moment where it doesn't think we're strong enough to take on all of that rush of things, will just block it. It will block it, and so we have to be careful of what we are bringing in and the people around us. I think that's more important,
Absolutely.
getting your network and your true friends, people that are going to stand with you no matter what, because you could always have those that are saying one thing and behind your back doing totally something else,
And that's the key, having friends that will stand with you no matter what, right?
Yes.
And so what's next for you?
Smiling more.
Okay.
Trying to get back to me.
You said getting back to
who I remember me to be. I think in this last year I was just so angry. I just been so angry, and I could feel it. And like I said, I've been like a firecracker from one second to the next, and that's not who I want to be.
Yeah.
It's not who I want to be. That's not who my Nana wanted me to be. And so I have to think about that and try to breathe and not jump, and set goals and complete them, and know that I feel that most of that is something that has been dwelling in me all my life, and now I need to just have my big calendar on my wall, and I mark things off, and I'm purposeful about what I say and when I say it and what I'm doing. Trying to get back to some normalcy, or maybe a new normalcy, I should say.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Gigi, we could talk all night. And we don't want Jaji to start coming in the room and Joy or Brady.
In my office. This is my office. My office closet.
Right. Somebody be knocking on the door. Sean gonna have to beat his dogs again because they're gonna have to go out. You're always welcome here on Refuel.
Thank you.
We were trying to create a space for her on Refuel, but she won her tour. So
oh my God.
Now that she's moving into public speaking now, maybe we never get her back. I mean, I'm sure she's gonna get a lot of phone calls to speak on something that's very serious and can help change people's lives. So I hope you look into that, right? And hopefully you'll come back and join us on Refuel at some point.
Yes. Anytime you need me. Yes.
Listen, don't blow up and forget about us. All right.
Oh, please. I love y'all.
We love you so much, sis. Thank you so much.
Game changer.
Yes.
Are we gonna have a meeting? I love you. Oh, stay in the green room. We'll be right back with you as soon as we close the show out.
Okay. Love you.
That was
even though I watched the her live her presentation where she shared the information. I was really moved by it, and I'm glad to talk to her now, right? To see how she's doing and to see how she's moving through it, and what's her plan for going forward. So I love her. Gigi, I've always loved her. And I cannot wait to see what work is in front of her.
Yeah,
Speaking
absolutely.
of, happy 10th year anniversary again to you. Okay. I know that 10 years dealing with you is difficult. So shout out to you, Joy, for 10 years for managing the emotions and the ups and downs of relationships. So, let me tell y'all something. Don't talk. It's not true. Talk to people who you know has been through some stuff and who's willing to share what tools they used. Okay, because I was about to say, don't talk to people that ain't been through nothing, or don't talk to people who ain't in a 10-year relationship. But I've gotten some good information. People ain't even married, right? But talk to some people that have used some tools, right? And so I love you all, your family, and the things that you are accomplishing. And I cannot wait to see again what 10 years look like. Speaking of preaching, Johnson and I are preaching together on Sunday, y'all. Can you believe this? I can't believe it. Can you believe it, Johnson? I was like, yes. I was like, let's do it. And I heard it.
Typically I would have said no, because it's not in my wheelhouse to turn around the quick turnaround like we did, but because I thought of in that moment, I had a conversation with Joy. I was like, listen, this is the ask. And she was like, let's do it. Right. So I took her energy, that Sagittarius energy. She embodied you in that moment. And I was like, fine.
Well, because that's how we do. That's how we are. That's how the Sagittarians are. But I noticed that in your text message, you made it clear that you was going first.
I did. Well,
I was like, what makes you think I don't want to go first?
That's the liberty that I took. So here's the thing, y'all. And we're going to wrap up soon. So Sean, he starts at 150.
Not true. True.
Now, because he's sitting down, he don't want to sweat in his butt. Anytime he can sweat from his head on down, he's fine. When he's sitting down, he's sweating his butt first. But anyway, listen, I don't have time coming after this guy. When he
disrespectful on so many levels. Number one, I don't sweat into my booty cake. That's not true.
Thank you, Caroline. I don't have no time to be coming after this man on 150. I don't have that much energy. She lying. I'm like what's the little box thing that you spin up and then it pops out? Like, that's me. I need a couple cranks. And Sean will start off sweating. He'll start off sweating. I ain't got time.
I haven't sweated in over a year since I've been sitting in my house. That's because the air conditioning wasn't working well in 904. What's the address?
Jack. Did you say that?
Jack in the Box. Wait a minute.
Yes, Jack in the Box. You got the work up.
On Sunday, I will not be at 100. I can promise you that, because I want to really talk about. Well,
listen.
We're gonna be talking about our pastor's affirmation that has been talked about and spoke thousands of times within our church. And so I am excited about it. And you even chose a section of it. Like, I was like,
I had to get in there. I had to be very decisive when I sent this message to this man yesterday, because I ain't had time. I just needed to come fully present and listen. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my 5 minutes and I'm going to sit down.
I only got 5 minutes. We got 7 minutes, y'all. Matter of fact, it's 7 minutes. That's all we got. 7 minutes. That's all we got. We got to preach for 7 minutes. I'm going to talk
about the Bible affirmation in 5 minutes. And I'm going
to talk about it in 4.
He lying.
I just find it, when I saw the message, I was excited, and I was taken back that she was like, oh, I want to be first. And I was like, but can I not get an option? Can I go first?
We don't have an option. Nope. He don't have an option. So join us on Sunday at 10:30. Sean and I will be preaching. We may do the game. We may do the refuel. We may come on here and just do it together. You never know what we will decide.
It will be her decision, because see, I don't be thinking about stuff like that. She be doing that at first thing in the morning. I just go along with it, y'all.
So we may do something where we are just bouncing off of each other. I'm gonna send him my script though, because he like to just go off the cuff, and I gotta have words on the screen. Listen, but yeah, so
I use a script as well. It's not that often that I go off the cuff, but this affirmation is very powerful. It's not a lot of stuff that our pastor kind of killed it on Sunday. So if you didn't see it, you should go. It was an amazing piece of I would call it artistry, but most people might get offended about that. But it was art. Like it talked about like check it out, y'all. Like if you check it out, like you gotta check it out. That's one of those ones you want to put on the shelf. Like you want to always go back. Like if I ever have to talk to anybody about a Bible, I'm going to send them that video.
I know that's right. Listen, we love you all so much. Make sure.
Caroline, it's so good to see you. I was thinking about our brother this week, as you can tell.
Make sure you
subscribe.
Subscribe.
See, this is our energy. This is our energy. Just get up. Get that energy up. Come on. Jump.
Listen, we love you all, Caroline. It's good to see you.
It is good to see the butler.
Yes, I miss you. I can't wait to see you. Not that I really hung up. I've only hung up with her maybe once or twice.
But girl, have one glass of wine. She going to bed.
Lanita,
I love you too, Lanita. We
so
gotta
much.
get Lanita. Can we get Lanita to come on one time and just cut up? But don't come on with just come on, just cutting up.
So she was a part of. You ain't read the chat. She was a part of the invite. I think she declined. I think she declined this week. Yep.
She declined, but she's been on the whole time.
Yep. I think she declined. Well, I'm gonna go with that. I don't know if Ashton reached out to her or not.
Oh no. Yeah, I did. Caroline, you drink one glass of wine and you're going to bed. What you talking about? No, you didn't. Yeah, I did.
So yes, Lanita. Next week, Lanita. I'm about to do what
Lanita
Sean
coming on. Okay, Lanita, can you put on? You're not telling the truth. Lanita, are you coming on? Can you be available? Oh, so next week I'll be in Maryland.
I know.
We should get together and do one together. You're gonna be available next week, Lanita?
You gotta check. I can get a permission slip
because I would call her slow, but then she'll get me.
There's a delay. Okay, bye. Ashton said bye. Listen,
all right, we gotta go.
You all so very much. Thank you for continuing to watch us.
He just was like,
we know that people. We know that everything is opening back up, and people are busy on Friday nights. Yes. But we appreciate you still clicking the link, still watching us. What's up, Miss Stewart? Good seeing you.
Good seeing you. I haven't seen you in a while.
What?
I haven't seen Stewart in a while. Caroline, happy birthday. Yep, I'll be in town for your birthday. We'll talk to you later. We love everybody. Johnson, kiss the kids goodnight for me. You gotta go. Do we really have to go? Okay. All right, we out. Later. All right.
So, thank you all very much for joining us tonight.
Johnson, kiss the baby squad.
So, yes, it's our show.
I love you too. And we're going to get to do this again next week.
Have a good night, everybody.
Hey, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Shout it up. Subscribe to our Facebook. Get on subscribe. Here it is.
Right there.
Go to UFC Baltimore.
Catch the fist.